OCO people, OCO, how y'all doing out there, man? Peace, love, you know what I'm saying? To the brown, and to the indigenous cultures. You heard how I said that? I said peace and love and unity to the brown, indigenous cultures of this sector of the world. Man, I'm just chilling, you know. Look like I ain't been getting no sleep, but because I've been up studying and, working and shit like that, had to get some off time to myself, you heard me? So, I'm just chilling, doing me a nice little, intellectual video about, you know, what I feel and what I see in this world and what our women, what our, men of our kind, shall I say. But one thing I do want to address is the money topic. Everybody talk about getting money. Yeah, we can get money, but you don't get power for money. You just don't. You don't get power for money. You could buy shit with money. You could, purchase things with money. You could trade with money, but you can't actually get power. Can't actually get that. So, just let that sink in for a minute, y'all. Just because you get money, you get all the money in the world. Look at Mayweather, right? The fighter, Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather. Look at the fighter, right? He got all the money in the world, but he ain't got no power because they took it all from Europe. They say this motherfucker was scamming. 420 mil worth of fortune. Say his whole thing was a scam. All those promotions, all those fights, you know what I'm saying? All that money he made, they saying it's scam money. The Fed saying it's scam money. So, yeah, they snatching that shit from his ass. Why? Because he ain't got no power. But let's address the money, though, so we can understand why he ain't got no power. Because the money, it belongs to somebody else. It got another face on it. It got a whole nother man face on that motherfucker. It don't look like him. It don't respect him. So I be like, when we understand the currency and how all that shit is structured, when we understand that, we have to take back our infrastructure the way we would see fit for ourselves, we have to get our infrastructure back the way we see fit for ourselves, because these people have an infrastructure that is fit for how they live, their laws, their government, their policy is fit for their protection, their living, not for all people. They'll say that shit, but at the end of the day, anybody can slick talk anybody. You know what I'm saying? But we see where it all going to. We know, where it all going to and where it all coming from. We living up under European-centric Roman government law, common law. And with that said, how could you be keeping up with years? If this was theirs to have and and they are indigenous to this, how come you keeping up with years? Like this library, 100 years. You see what I'm saying? When have our ancestors marked years for our knowledge and wisdom? that we hand down to our generations. It's just there when they need it. You know what I'm saying? The years is represented in our longevity and how long we live as a people. You know what I'm saying? As an indigenous people like me, I'm the age I am. You see what I'm saying? The knowledge I have, I can hand that down to the younger generation. You know what I'm saying? I can hand that down to the younger generation. You know what I'm saying? And we'll hope and pray that they use that to progress for the next generation behind them. You see what I'm saying? So until we can progress to having our own military, until we can progress into making our own laws that protects us and that represents us as the brown indigenous people of this land, then we can say we getting money. Then we can say we free. But if we gotta simulate to be what the white man want us to be, then we're not a free people. We gotta talk like him, walk like him, dress in a suit like him, have a certain, proper language when we go into his jobs and businesses and shit like that. It's all to, you know what I'm saying, what he want out of the brown skinned so-called black man. So wouldn't it be safe to say that the white man is the pimp and we his hoes? Wouldn't it be safe to say that? The white man is the pimp and we his hoes because we gotta do what he need us to do, with what he give us to work with. You see what I'm saying? So are we really truly being our natural self? Or are we being who somebody else want us to be? Let y'all think about that. And with that said, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to add on to it. Let's address our men and our women in our culture. Man, what the hell wrong with us, y'all? Like, what the fuck we got going on? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, instead of looking at me and saying, man, what are you gonna do? I'm saying, what are we gonna do as a whole? Because one individual person can't make a difference for everybody. You see what I'm saying? One individual can't make no difference for everybody. That's just unreal. We need to be together. We need to unite. We need to become one as a whole to climb up out of this oppression, up out of this, situation that we finding ourselves in every day, year in and year out, month in and month out. Why we continue to, simulate under this European government when this is not a European country. This is our country. This is our, the skin, our, when I say that. You know what I'm saying? Code up if you know what I'm saying. Code up. This is our kingdom, y'all. But we can't call it our kingdom if they in rule, because we don't rule anything. What do we rule? See, I'm speaking on a totality thing, not an individual thing. What do we rule? We don't rule anything. You know what I'm saying? They do. They government system. Everything is fit for their protection. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing that'll protect me but myself and how I move as a so-called black label person in this country. They black label me. I'm black label. You see what I'm saying? They gave me the black label. I couldn't be a white label. I couldn't be my ancestors' label. I couldn't be a Choctaw. I couldn't be an Iroquois. I couldn't be a Cherokee. I couldn't be a Seminole. I had to be the black label or an African label. Like, what the fuck? I'm not African. I don't speak African. I don't represent African nations or African culture. I can never, because I'm not born of that world. You heard me? I'm not born from Africa. You heard me? Like, the fuck are we doing calling ourselves Africans? Like, why are we involved in being pro-Africans and shit like that? Pan-Africans and shit like that. Hebrew Israelites and everything that ain't got nothing to do with our ancestors' plight and fall when they got comfortable. They ain't got nothing to do with it. All these brothers on the street corner every Saturday with this Hebrew Israelite shit. Man, whatever. Say that shit for your master, dog. Like, say that shit for your white master, bro. Because that's who you serve. When you inside, you come out that book. You coming out that book from where the white master conquered you with. I would never want to, respect nothing in that book. You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit. I would never want to respect nothing in that book. Yeah, it's nice to know it. It's nice to know that it come with some information, some interesting and intimidating and provoking knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But is that the know-all, tell-all? No, it's not. It's the shit that them brothers, they call themselves the Hebrew Israelites on the street corners every Saturday, preaching and screaming at motherfucking random people in the public. Is that the know-all, tell-all? No, it's not. The rabbit hole goes deeper, and you got to know that. You gotta know that. You gotta know that the rabbit hole goes way deeper than what these boys preaching about. You gotta know that the rabbit hole goes way deeper than what your Sunday pastor preaching about. That's a distraction. All that shit is just mediocre distraction to keep you from understanding what's right in front of you. You see what I'm saying? So they distract you with all this, side talk and side shit that'll give you the illusion of something, so that way you could feel comfortable within your oppression, within your captivity. Make you feel like you still a king by telling you are one of the sons of Jacob. Man, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, to hell with all that right there. You know what I mean? So, y'all niggas, man, bogus for that. Y'all females out here thinking y'all better than a man. Man, I don't have to make no 100K to have no woman. I never made above 20K to have a female in my life. You see what I'm saying? It's not about money when it comes to a woman. If you just understand what a woman needs are, and you consistent with understanding her needs, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't gotta worry about no woman, bro. Like, women come and go. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? The only time I get hurt behind a woman is because I've allowed myself to be bothered as a man. I've allowed myself to be over generous. You know what I'm saying? Being over generous and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to switch it up. I had to learn that I can't be that way. I had to learn that, it's not that we can't amount up to whatever a woman's standards are. It's just that we not trying to, you know what I'm saying? Nah. But, I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm not finna be sitting around here stressing my motherfucking mind about making a certain amount of money just to have a certain woman in my life. If a woman don't want me for the way I am, then she can kick rocks. She can continue to keep pushing, because whatever she had to offer, you know what I'm saying, it really ain't really about nothing. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't benefit me anyway. You know what I'm saying? If it don't benefit me and my what I got going on in my world, then she could just kick rock, because if I'm working a certain job and that's what I'm making my income, and it's providing and it getting the job done and pay the bills, I can live comfortable and shit like that, then yeah. Excuse me for that, y'all. But anyway, yeah, so what are we doing though? You know, if y'all can separate y'all emotions and not make it personal, you know what I'm saying? Just understand the message of what I'm saying. Just understand that we got to fucking progress past where we at in this world, you know. So with that said, you know what I'm saying, I hope y'all can find something to start a good, healthy conversation with in this video. I hope it makes somebody think, you know what I'm saying? And Waddle, I'm gone.